Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm going to show you how I make my lures, specifically looking at the painting side of things. So I'm going to walk you through what I do to get the lures all painted up and ready for epoxy. So check it out. Right, there's a couple of things that you'll need to get started with your painting. So the first thing you'll need is your airbrush or your airbrush gun, and ideally try and clean it every single time after use. So I haven't done that for this guy, and so I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time now to clean the gun before I use it. So you need a spray painting gun, you need some sort of spray painting booth. I got this little guy here. It's actually soldering iron. It's called a helping hand. Amazing because I can just rotate it around, move this thing off, rotate it around, and paint all the sides very easily without actually touching the lure itself. Then when it's ready to go, I'll just hang it up on the little drying rack. So just put some little hooks on top of my spray booth, and then that's just gonna dry nicely. Best piece of advice I can give you guys is to actually buy yourself some airbrush paints straight out. These ones here you can actually use straight into your airbrush gun. So you can water down your acrylics. That's what I've done for this guy here. But the biggest thing that you've got to just be aware of is any clumps in your paint. If you haven't mixed it properly, any clumps will clog up your airbrush gun and stop it from working properly. So if you are using acrylic paints and not specific airbrush paints, you do need to make sure that it is really nice and smooth, kind of at that consistency. Should have used a darker color so you guys could see. But any clumps, any sawdust, anything that goes through the airbrush gun will just clog it up and your paint won't spray through the gun. Alright, so I got everything ready. I've got my airbrush gun, I've got my lure in the holder ready to go, and I'm just going to feed paint through and spray this thing down white. I'll do a few coats before getting on to doing some different colors and some texture. Alright, so you want to make sure that your airbrush gun is nice and clean. I've just cleaned mine out before you start spraying. Otherwise paint's going to blotch, it's going to ruin your paint job, and you're going to, it's just not going to be a fun time. You're going to get paint everywhere. So make sure that when you are painting that your airbrush is clean. The paint that you're using is either an airbrush specific paint or you've mixed in your acrylic paints with water, and so it's nice and runny. So we're up to painting our little lure now. Before I start painting my project or my lure, before I start painting my lure, I just do a quick little spray on the ground just to see what it looks like. Paint's going through really nicely, so I'm ready to paint my lure. Now, because I'm doing a few coats, I'll do a general coat first, just to get the paint on there, and then I'll go back over a couple of times and apply more paint. So once I've got the first coat on, I'll go actually closer to the lure and spray more of a thicker layer on, and then I'll let it dry for a couple of hours, and then onto the colourful paints. So we just finished painting the first couple of layers of our lure, and I'm just going to now decide what I want to do with it, with colours. I think I'm going to go a pink lure. Right, so I'm ready to apply my first colour onto my lure. I'm going to do the top and a little bit of the sides, and then I'm going to put maybe black spots on the top, or maybe white spots on the top. We'll just see. So just finished painting the lure. It's looking really nice. It's kind of like a pink, almost a hot pink sort of colour. Yeah, so I don't want to add any oil to the lure before I epoxy. So I won't actually touch the lure physically with my hands up until the end point, which is where the lure is completely hardened by the epoxy. So here's the lure now. It's looking really nice. I don't even know if I want to add anything else to it. And I might just put the eye in and leave it at that. But that's where we're at with our lure. Hope you liked the video, guys. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, comment any questions you have in the comment section, and if you can subscribe, that'd be amazing. Thanks guys, see you in another video. Peace out.